Sawadika, very good evening and welcome to Thai PBS World Tonight. I'm Nabunag.
And I'm Hatayate Shakitiranan. And kicking off the program tonight with some updates on vaccinations. We've been talking about the side effects many times before, but this time we have more details to show you, especially from the mix and match approach of especially with Sinovac and then AstraZeneca shots, which has now become the main practice. According to the Public Health Ministry, the most common side effects of the mix and match vaccine approach of using Sinovac and then AstraZeneca shot are fever, headache, dizziness, and nausea. The method of using Sinovac as a first dose, followed by an AstraZeneca shot as a second, with 3 to 4 weeks apart, is now Thailand's main vaccination practice, which also helps shorten the gap between the two doses of AstraZeneca, because it would take about 3 months, but with the same similar levels of efficacy. And as of yesterday, China's Sinovac vaccine accounts for most of the shots administered, as we know, at 15.7 million doses, followed by 16 million doses of AstraZeneca, 4.6 million doses of Sinopharm, and then almost 1 million doses of Pfizer-BioNTech. For those inoculated with Sinovac, the most common side effects are dizziness, nausea, headache, vomiting, fatigue, and muscle pain. And the most common side effects from AstraZeneca are fever, headaches, dizziness, nausea, vomiting, and also fatigue.
And as for Sinopharm, the most common side effects are dizziness, headache, vomiting, nausea, and fever, while the most common side effects from Pfizer are fever, headache, vomiting, nausea, and dizziness. It is also found that 24 people who received Sinovac experienced severe allergies, which accounts for 0.16 per 100,000 doses, while only 6 people who received AstraZeneca experienced them, which accounts for only 0.04 per 100,000 doses. The most common side effects of 2 doses of Sinovac and AstraZeneca as a third booster shot are headache, fever, nausea, muscle pain, and vomiting. Meanwhile, the most common side effects of 2 doses of Sinovac and Pfizer as a third booster shot are fever, vomiting, headache, nausea, and dizziness.
And Dr. Jagarat Pitiyawong Anon, who's the director of the epidemiology division of the Disease Control Department, also revealed that 5 people who received the AstraZeneca vaccine experienced VITT. 3 of them died and 2 have recovered. So those with VITT will experience severe headaches, numbness in the arms or legs, facial palsy, trouble breathing, swollen legs, severe stomach aches, or bleeding. So those who receive AstraZeneca and experience any of these symptoms within 4 to 30 days must see the doctor and must bring their first vaccine booking appointment.
Meanwhile, Sinopharm representatives have also submitted their application to Thailand's FDA for authorized use in children aged from 3 years old, and this will take about a month or less to approve. So we talked before about giving out Sinopharm vaccines to students aged 10 to 18, so we'll have to wait and see if the younger ones will get it as well. So right now, more than 60% of the entire population have received 2 doses of vaccines so far, while only a few thousand people, mostly medical personnel, are getting their 3rd booster shots per day. So as you can see, it's still a long way to go, but at least it is a good start that more people are getting vaccinated, especially the younger children, as they are scheduled to get inoculated by this month. However, there's a prominent medical expert, Dr. Thirawat Hemachutta, who has recently warned the use of Pfizer among the children, as it can put them at risk of getting this some sort of inflammation of heart muscles, or they call it myocarditis. So he suggested that they should be inoculated with 2 doses of inactivated vaccines before they can get the Pfizer.
Definitely, the side effects of COVID-19 vaccines are still the main things that we need to be aware of, but at least the severe side effects are still very rare, according to the findings.
Right. And now let's move on to the talk of the town in regards to the two famous Buddhist monks and their viral but controversial live stream. Today, the two monks reported to the Parliamentary Committee on Religious, Arts and Cultural Affairs to defend themselves over their controversial Facebook live stream talk show last weekend, which was described by critics as improper, indiscreet, and unbecoming of Buddhist monks. So if we remember last weekend, Pramaha Sombong Talaputo and Pramaha Praiwan Warawano held a live Buddhism preaching session, which was filled with teenage slang, giggles, and laughter as they poked fun at current and political affairs. And that live stream attracted a huge audience online. Pramaha Sombong told the media that he wasn't stressed about having to explain himself. Also, he said that he did not have to prepare specially to be grilled by the committee as well. He likened his first live session to the experience of a teacher coming face to face with students in a classroom for the first time, where he has to say hello to get their attention before proceeding to teach. However, he then explained that when a teacher's first encounter with the students draws a reprimand from the school's director, the teacher has to make changes. At the same time, Pramaha Sombong somehow complained about their critics, who he said are attacking both of them at the first viewing of their live stream presentation without watching the whole thing. He said, quote unquote, "The eyes by nature are located below the brain, so do not judge from what you see and forget to use the brain."
Wow. And meanwhile, Pramaha Praiwan told the media that both of them had talked with several other people about their live stream talk show, and they feel that it is not a serious issue and the laughter should not be blown out of proportion into a national problem. But he admit, though, that some senior people in this country might be concerned with the possible repercussions of their talk and would like them to explain themselves, for instance, to the House Committee. Asked whether he would live stream again, he said he had already recorded a new session with some adjustments to the format to be released soon on social media.
Well, we have to say that there's always two sides of this issue. So ones are from the conservative people who believe that religion should be more formal, and those who are more accepting of how things need to adapt into the modern world. So what do you think about this issue? So do let us know in the comment section below.
Right, do share your comments below. And moving on to politics, quite shocking, but not entirely unexpected news today. Both the Deputy Agriculture Minister Thammanat and the Deputy Labor Minister Narumon Pinyosinwat are no longer cabinet members as of yesterday, according to a Royal Gazette announcement. Mr. Thammanat is a controversial figure who came under fire for his drug trafficking conviction in Australia back in the 1990s, but he survived all the no-confidence motions against him, and also became very influential figure within the ruling Palang Pracharat party and was recently appointed the Secretary General of the party. Thammanat announced today that he had resigned from the ministerial post, which is happening amid internal rifts within the party. Thammanat said in the press briefing he can't continue working with the government anymore and that he will go back to his hometown of Phayao province in the north, but he will still retain his MP status. So just a few days ago, with some rumors flying around about the rift between him and Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha and Thammanat's resignation, the party leader and Deputy Prime Minister Prawit Wongsuwan said there was no such thing. But of course, although Prawit is also known to keep denying all the rumors. Thammanat spent 4 years in jail in Sydney for heroin smuggling, which earned him a nickname of a flower vendor when he tried to defend himself in Parliament that the drug was in fact flour. In May, the Constitutional Court ruled in his favor that he could keep his MP status because because the sentence was handed by an Australian court and not a Thai court. Despite public backlash, Thammanat became an influential figure in the party and was credited for several victories in the by-election and local elections for his ability to garner all the votes. And we all thought that he's quite untouchable, having got off the hook several times. But of course, we need to be aware also that the Palang Pracharat Party was formed with several cliques just to be the opposing force to the opposition, such as the Pheu Thai and Move Forward parties. Mass resignations actually happened before, just in June last year with the economic team, when the Four Boys faction fell out of favor within the party and also the government.
Well, Thammanat has always been a very controversial figure in politics, so we will have to wait and see how it goes for him after his sudden resignation, as well as the future of Palang Pracharat Party for the time being. And we're still on the issue with politics. Tomorrow, the parliament will vote whether or not to accept the petition of the resurrection of the two-ballot system. And let us tell you why this is so important. Well, for the next 1.5 years at least, this two-ballot system is actually the only constitutional amendment draft being accepted in the first reading. So there were a total of 13 drafts that were submitted, mainly seeking to improve the economy and people's rights, as well as to shut down the Senate's power to select a prime minister, which happened back in 2019, that saw Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha back in power. So this charter amendment proposal will only benefit some political parties and not the people. But let us tell you how your favorite parties may be affected by this one. So the two-ballot system is favored by major parties, as it would give away most of the party list seats to major parties, unlike the current system in which small parties can still get a seat in the House. The one-ballot system used in the 2019 general elections was meant to deter major parties, particularly Pheu Thai, from forming a single-party government or being a majority in the coalition. But it instead rewarded the newcomer Future for Party, which gained an unexpected amount of support but was later dissolved in court. So of course, major parties in both the government coalition and the opposition favor the two-ballot system, while small parties are vowing to vote against it because they would get fewer seats. And it is only thanks to the one-ballot system used last time that there are now so many micro parties in the coalitions with only 1 MPs each.
And the two-ballot proposal will yield 400 constitutional MPs and 100 party list MPs. The amendment bill needs at least 84 senators to vote in favor of its passage through this third and, of course, final reading. So as you can see, this will affect the seats each party will win in the next election, while things that seem to matter more, like maybe the Senate's power and other changes in governance, won't be touched for now.
Exactly, and probably that's what many people have hoped for, switching off the power of the Senate and paving the way for more democracy.
And now on to some updates on the missing toddler in Chiang Mai who was found yesterday in a very safe and sound condition. So this is still in public interest, of course. The overall health of the girl, though, is improving from the condition that she was found in, but the mental counseling is still needed. The young kidnapped victim is recuperating satisfactorily in a hospital in Chiang Mai province and has allowed her parents to hug her again today after she was actually still a bit shy and scared yesterday. The toddler's father said that she's eating normally and appears to be healthier than yesterday, but a doctor said that she needs to be kept under observation by a psychiatrist who will help in rehabilitating her after her ordeal. He said that the child child has suffered minor cuts, insect and mosquito bites all over her body, and when she was found in a jungle hut about just a kilometer from their village in a valley in Methang district, which was almost 3 days after her disappearance from home on Sunday night. The father said he and his wife are really happy, of course, to have their daughter back safe and sound. And as for the suspect, who is an illegal immigrant from Myanmar who lives in the same village, he said that he will leave the matter to the police. And the investigative commander of the 5th Provincial Police Bureau said today that no charges have been filed against the suspect yet, as police are still waiting for forensic reports, although the suspect had admitted that he abducted the toddler. So the suspect now also has implicated his daughter-in-law as being the mastermind of the abduction, and but she, of course, dismissed the allegation. And so we still have to wait and see for the results as well, how it will turn out, and further investigation, because there's been some suspicion that maybe it was not just that the main suspect leaving her and then she managed 2 kilometers on her own. Maybe there are some other suspects as well that maybe because of all the media coverage getting scared of being arrested and have returned her. So we still have to wait and see. But with that relieving news, we wrap up this edition of Thai PBS World Tonight. And do catch us like this every weekday at 7 p.m. for all the top stories and explainers.
And don't forget to follow us on social media as well as our website, thaipbsworld.com, for the latest stories as well as analyses. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ